Hi fellow dreamers, in this video we're going to explore dreaming of a loved one that is hurt or is in pain. Thanks for joining everybody. My name is Carolina. As you know, I focus on doing children's books like these right here that promote love, unity, and peace, and I also help my followers interpret their dreams. We do this because when we listen to our dreams, we're connecting to our subconscious, and when we share them, we connect with one another on a more profound level. So let's get started with the topic of today. A few of you are having dreams that a loved one is hurt or is in pain, and you're worried. You're like, does this mean this is going to happen? Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean this is going to happen, but let's explore this dream and let's understand why it's coming to us to begin with. Okay, number one, remember, the dream state is here to show you what is going on with you in this moment. How are we doing? How are we feeling? But because dream world is so massive and so huge, it can show you past, present, and future. Okay, and this is what people worry about. They worry about the future. They're like, is this dream telling me that this is going to happen to my loved one? Okay. So let's back up. Before we even get into the place of where this dream is coming from, let's remember this, that dream state also is going to show you those internal concerns and worries, okay? This dream can very well just be a reflection of your internal fear and worry for this loved one. Let's explore this a little bit further before we move on to another way of looking at the dream. Okay, we're interacting with our loved one in waking state. Maybe we're picking up cues that they're going through a tough time, or we're sensing some kind of heavy energy from them. It's very possible that because you see this, because you see them struggling or what have you, that you're more concerned and more worried about them. So remember, whenever you go to sleep at night, it's going to show up in a very dramatic way, and it's going to say, we're worried about this, we need to focus on this, right? It's going to show you that. So remember, this dream can simply be a reflection of your internal fears. The way that you're going to know this is you've got to be very honest with yourself and start understanding, am I overly concerned about this loved one? Am I almost you know how they say the term helicopter mom? Am I really just watching them, trying to make sure they don't get hurt, etc.? And it's coming for us to do that, right? It's coming for us to do that with our loved ones because we don't want them to get hurt and we're concerned about them. So let's be honest, are we overly concerned about this loved one? And if so, it is natural that it shows up in dream state, okay? But when this happens, what can we do with this? Remember, what we want to do is, if you feel that this is an internal fear of yours, if this is what you're truly feeling, then something we can do is give more love to the situation. What we mean by this is, okay, we see the dream, we see that, you know, we're overly concerned about this loved one. We've got to remember that we are responsible for ourselves, right? Number one, we're responsible for ourselves, but number two, they are responsible for themselves. We've got to allow them the space to grow. We've got to even have confidence in them that they are going to do okay. When we overly worry about someone, what we're saying is, yes, I care about you so much, I don't want you to get hurt, but what we're also saying is, I can take care of you better than you can take care of yourself. Okay, so we've got to take a step back and just know this person has got to go through their process. Just like I have to go through mine, they have to go through theirs. So this dream essentially is just a loving alert letting me know, look, I'm overly concerned. I've got to take a step back. Okay, number one, take a step back. But then number two, go ahead and stay in that energy of love, unity, and peace. Okay, why? Because we want to make sure that whenever we're interacting with this loved one, that this is what we're offering them, because we're already sensing that they're going through a tough time and we're overly worried. So worrying about it more isn't going to help. But if we're in that energy of love, if we're in that energy of peace and of strength, then we can provide some loving solutions when we do interact with them. Okay, so that's one way of looking at the dream. But now, if you feel that you're like, you know what, Carolina, I'm not overly concerned about this person. I genuinely feel that the situation presented in my dream is a potential, is going to happen in the future. And that is very common too. Remember, dream state shows us past, present, future. Let's focus on the future for a moment in this dream. If you feel within you that this is a possibility, okay, we can do a couple of things here too. Remembering still though that that person is responsible for their life. But okay, one thing that we can do is we've got to work to stay in that energy of love. Okay, we don't want to increase the worry. So we want to very quickly allow the fear to go away. Okay, allow the fear to go away and then look at the dream for what it is. Who else was there with you? Okay, who else was there with you? Who else was there with the loved one? What were you doing within the dream? Okay, we've got to understand the context of it, and we've got to understand what role we played in it. Oftentimes when you dream of a loved one that is in pain, that is hurting, or excuse me, or that is just going through a tough situation, if you dream of that and you feel this is a potential future, oftentimes this dream is coming to you because it's a loving alert letting you know, hey, let's be prepared. Let's be prepared because we're sensing that this is a potential future. So it's our responsibility as the dreamer to just be in that energy of love and strength so that way we can support and we can assist. All right. Now, a lot of the time when you have this dream, people ask me, am I supposed to tell them? Should I tell them? Because, you know, it was a really weird dream. I should probably tell them, right? Okay, we want to pause here for a moment and we want to take a few deep breaths, because remember, if this is you that's dreaming this and you see it and feel it as a potential future, remember, this is what you're seeing, this is what you're feeling. If you go and tell this person, look, I saw you and you looked this way, X, Y, and Z, if you say it and you're spreading more uncertainty, if you're spreading more fear, then that is not going to help. If anything, what you're doing is you're dropping a little seed of the idea within their mind. And if they're not in a place of strength and of love, then they can take that little seed of an idea and think of it throughout the day and say, wow, they thought of me like this, or they dreamt of me like this. Wow. And it's going to grow, right? You're growing that idea within their mind. So be very careful before you start sharing any kind of dream with a loved one. What I've learned is that the best thing to do is that this dream is for you, to be prepared, to assist, to be in that energy of love. Okay, most of the time, this is what we want to do with this dream. Now, if for whatever reason you're feeling the need that you absolutely have to tell this person, okay, you've got to do it in the most loving and most supportive way possible. Remember, whenever we share things with loved ones, especially if it's a very sensitive topic, we want to make sure that we're growing loving energy. We don't want to grow fear within our loved ones, okay? And we've got to be very careful. We've got to practice this very well, because we've got to determine, is this my internal fear and worry like we talked about before, or is this a potential I see for the future? Now, let's take a step back for a moment and explore this even further with the second option. If you feel that this is a dream of the future, remember, you can also give loving energy. If you don't like what this looks like, then be prepared to provide loving energy to yourself and to that person, okay? You can very much have a more loving outcome if you prepare yourself in that way, okay? But if you start acting with fear, with anxiety, etc., all you're going to do is not only confirm that this can be a very likely outcome, but you're going to help escalate, you're going to help grow it, okay? So take a step back, stay in that loving energy, and that's the best way to go about it, okay? Excuse me. I hope that this explanation was helpful for you. I know that many of us are having dreams like this. Remember, these dreams, even though they can be a little bit fearful, remember, if you're remembering them and you're having them over and over again, whether it be with a loved one or a friend, etc., it's letting you know that you're becoming more sensitive to this energy. You're able to see a little bit more, feel a little bit more. You're more connected to this universe and to your loved ones. So that is a good thing, okay? But now you simply have to practice to stay in that energy of love, unity, and peace, so that way that is what you share when you interact with them. That is what you share when you interact with your loved ones, with your friends, etc. Okay, this is a big responsibility. Once you start having dreams like this, it is your responsibility to be in that energy. And I know I emphasize that enough, and I've said it plenty of times during this video, but it is critical. It is very important. And once you have more dreams like this, you'll understand why. But all right, guys, hope that was helpful for you. Let me let you know that we're still doing our dream journal gift off. Okay, we're doing our dream journals, and as I show these to you, I'm going to explain to you. Remember, these journals are being sold right now by us. We're offering them for $20 each, and all of the proceeds of those $20 are going to go to the Sidewalk School in Matamoros, Mexico. Those are children that are asylum seekers, and they're trying to get into the US because they're seeking a better life. And as you know, I can very much relate to that, because I had immigrated to this country when I was 2 years old. So I feel for them. I totally feel for them, and that's why we're doing this, okay? We have taken these journals, made them extra pretty, and we're offering them to you. So if you're interested, let me know which one you connect with, and we will send it to you, okay? Now, guys, for this week, like I always do, I send you a huge hug. But guys, let's work on every single day to be in that energy of love, unity, and peace. And that's what I offer you today. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.